Good morning, adventure travellers. We are off to the Turkish-Bulgarian border. We're all packed up. The border's only 17 k's away, so we'll be there in about 15-20 minutes. Maybe get some gas on the way, and let's get to Bulgaria. Well, it felt quite warm this morning, but the sun hasn't come out to play. We may even see some rain. Might even need to get the thermal back out. Anyway, we'll be in Bulgaria soon enough. We're in the Turkish countryside for the last time. Nice and green. I'm expecting Bulgaria to be a little bit more basic than Western Turkey, but we shall see. Sofia looks very nice. Shout out to my niece Sofia. And it's only a couple of hours to Plovdiv. So, nice easy ride today, short ride, and then it stands down. See you at the border. Okay, well that was pretty painless. I had to turn back once, and it only took a couple of minutes, and here we are at the Republic of Bulgaria. This traffic's moving very slowly, and I dare say it's going to move a little bit slower when I get there, with my Croatian passport and my New Zealand registered bike. Just think it might throw them into a bit of a spin. And we are in Bulgaria. It stopped raining, so that's the good news. The other good news is they didn't hit me up for any more tolls in Turkey, so that'll give Shane Young and Andrew Kingston a bit of a chuckle. And they were quite disinterested in the carnet coming into Bulgaria. They didn't even ask me about any insurance at immigration. There seemed to be no hassle with New Zealand registration and Croatian passport, so I don't know if it's going to bite me on the ass somewhere down the line, but anyway, let's hit the road. Well, I might not be on the in the gravel in the mountains like most other adventure riders, but I am on the B roads. I've seen a lot of B roads, and I've got to say, I do like the B roads. Look at this. 10 minutes in from the border. We're obviously in a countryside or agricultural area, but amazing green. Road surfaces are what they are to be expected for the B roads, but good enough and better than a lot of other countries I've been through. Alrighty, we're almost halfway to destination, and I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a town name, and there's a little statue in behind, quite Soviet-esque. But anyway, just thought I'd stop and show you that, and hopefully there's some petrol around because I'm getting a bit low. Well, the town I'm heading to, Plovdiv, is quite nice from what I've seen on Google. Just thought I'd show you a typical small town in Bulgaria. You've got these Soviet-looking apartment blocks. The cars are of a half decent standard, but yeah, still a bit of a Soviet hangover, as with a lot of Eastern Europe and even the old Yugoslavia. I'm sure the place would feel a lot better if it wasn't overcast and wet, even though that doesn't change the buildings. But anyway, that's the little town whose name I've got no idea what it is, but I will talk to you soon. Alright, trendsetters, just pulled over to the side of the road for a wee bit of a break, and remember I passed those fields before with these little yellow flowers. Well, I'm convinced that they are not wild. Look at that. Holy cow, just a sea of yellow. Beautiful. And on the other side of the road as well. Very impressive. If anybody knows what this flower is, and obviously what it's grown for or farmed for, let me know in the comments below. I'd be very interested. And if I find out first, I'll let you know. And here we are in the old town. This looks pretty cool. Wow. Old character buildings. Am I going the right way? Cobbled streets. Let's hope that the hostel's up to scratch. And here we are. And here we are in Plovdiv. I had to ditch that last hostel. It was nasty. It's quite a modern central square, but I have found a pretty cool Soviet style building. Here it is. I think it's the old post office. They made everything big and imposing in Soviet times, and the old Plovdiv post office is no exception. There's some artwork on the side of the building, which is pretty cool. You can see how people could get nostalgic about Soviet times, but and there is some cool architecture in a retro kind of way, but it wasn't a happy time for people, so let's not kid ourselves. And just across the way on the other side of the square is a beautiful old building that they've turned into a Ramada hotel. Not exactly sure what this one is, but it's got a little bit more patina, which makes it sort of cool. And right next to the post office are the Roman ruins. Very cool. So these ruins were once upon a time a basilica and a theatre. Look at that, they were built between 1500 and 2000 years ago. So the Romans doing their thing all over Europe. And next to the ruins we have this beautiful park. Here's someone who was probably very important once upon a time. He looks like a religious man. And another prominent Hungarian there. And we have some more ruins in Plovdiv. Look at that on the other side of the post office. Wow. In this part of the ruins they had a library and shops and other bits and bobs. Look at that, pretty cool. We're coming back into the main part of the square now, and there's quite a few of these human statues. And here we are in the old town on the cobblestone streets. I've got to make sure I don't trip over myself and go flat on my face. Beautiful old neighbourhoods. Here's your cobblestone streets. Old buildings and houses. This looks like it was an important person's house once upon a time. Olden time Bulgaria. Rightio Stevo, I found the best gelato shop in Hungary. And yes, that's it, right behind me. Look at this. It's a little Fiat. And there's your gelato in there. How good is that? Okay, as you know, I'm not a super foodie, but I thought I'd better show you my first meal in Bulgaria. And it's an Italian pasta dish with a Danish beer. Hope you enjoyed that, Nicole Ingalls. It's especially for you. Good morning, adventure travellers, and goodbye Plovdiv. Well, what a lovely little town. Now we are on the road to Sofia. 3 hours in the saddle, probably a lot of countryside, same as yesterday. I looked on the map and saw there are large mountains in the south of the country and also towards the north, and I've been riding through the fertile plains in the middle. Not sure if there's much to see on the way to Sofia, but stay tuned. Okay, I stand corrected. It looks like we are going through some mountains, not very big ones, but it makes a nice change from the flat old countryside. Alright, just made it to the top of some mountain and just checking out this little village at the top of the hill. It seems a little bit run down, but that's the cool thing about taking the B roads. You get to ride through these villages and just see what it's like outside the cities. Is an abandoned building. Yes, very interesting. And the road has turned very nice. Look at this beautiful paving. Not a pothole or patch in sight. And looking back towards our mountains that we saw before, here's a jet going through the sky with its vapor trails. Very nice. Beautiful day to be out on the bike. Thank you, Bulgaria. Getting closer to Sofia, and we are by a lake, believe it or not, and there's just some beautiful forestation. Is that the word? Forestation? Beautiful trees on either side of the road. Okay, we're off the busy road, and I think we're in the old town. Pretty nice wherever we are. Cobbled streets. I think I just missed my turn off. Where the hell am I going? Let's follow the cars in front. Don't hit anybody. Oh, nice park there. Everyone's out in the sunshine. Wow, look at these historical buildings. Pretty cool. Well, we're certainly smack bang in the middle of town. Old town, a town. The streets are narrow and the buildings are old-ish. Don't know how I'm going to get on with the parking spot, but we'll worry about that in a few minutes. Look at this, this is epic. Trees on the side of the road. Okay, we're about 500 meters away. Look at this street. It's pretty cool. Wow. Oh, it's got a bit of graffiti. Give it just make sure it's not too upmarket, as per usual. Oh shit. The hostel is right here. Hope I haven't stuffed up. Okay, well, it looks like bike safety is taken care of. We are squeezed inside the walkway here, and should be enough room for people to get past. Alright, this is the crash pad for the next 3 nights. Pretty basic, but it's smack bang in the middle of town. Alright trendsetters, that's it for this video. 5 things you've got to do before the end of the day. 1 is like the video, 2 subscribe, 3 share it with family and friends, 4 give a donation to the IHC, and 5 ring your mum and dad and tell them that you love them. Thanks for tuning in, travel safe, and see you on the road.